Hey ladies! Today I am going to be going over some of the best pins that you can use when making your own brooch bouquet. You can see just by looking at my bouquet, there are a lot of different elements and pins and pendants and necklaces and everything involved in here. So just kind of take a look. This is just kind of me showing you what's there. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of layers. By my count and by my records, because I kept an Excel sheet of exactly what I used, I've got well over 100 pins involved. Here's just a few shots of some of them as I was getting them. These were some of my eBay finds that I got. Some were new, some were old, some I had. It's best to keep them all in the same places. This is not all of the ones I have or used or anything, but just a little something to get you started.
Okay, I'm just going to go over some of the different options that you may come across when you're gathering things for your bouquet. Obviously, a lot went into the making of this. Pins, earrings, necklaces, pendants, I mean, things I don't even know what they are. But here are just a few of my extras that I'm going to show you, and just kind of maybe help get your brain flowing what you need to collect. I've got some earrings here, vintage earrings. They're just regular clip backs, nothing overly, fancy. And pretty much what you're looking for is something for small wire to be able to cut through, or not cut through, but mold through. Here, I'll show you what I mean. Here's just a little piece, and so looking at this, I have to think to myself, okay, where can I put this wire through so I can secure it, so it can get secured into a stem, so it can go into the bouquet. So for this particular backing has some holes in it, so what I could do is run some wires through it, and I would fold it and twist it into a stem and make it secure. This would be okay, but my concern with something like this, for example, would be even if you twisted it and turned it into a stem, it moves a lot. It might be stable, but it just depends. Like, you just have to be careful where you place it is all. It wouldn't be the most secure. So let's look at something else. This is a old, I think it's an old belt, or not belt buckle, a shoe buckle. You could obviously secure it this way, and you would, twist it to your stem's liking and try and secure it as much as possible. Something like this. I would try to find another spot, like maybe I don't know if you can even see, but there's another hole in here. Maybe run an extra wire or something through there. Hope you can see that. I'm sorry if you can't. Just to keep it most secure, because if you just have one thing on it and it's big like this, it moves, like you don't want that when you're walking down the aisle or whatever else you're doing with your bouquet. So something to take into consideration. This, to me, obviously it's small, but I would consider this to be a pretty good choice. And this is just a little pin that I got at, let's see if you can see it closer. Here you go, you can see it better here. This is a little crown pin that I got at a thrift store ages ago. I didn't end up working it into mine just because I just didn't need it. But what you can see is it is a pin, so there is kind of two support bases that you can use to wire stuff on, but more importantly, it's silver, which for me was great, but there's all these little holes in between. Now, I'm going to use this gold floral wire just to show you, but if you were to use this, you would use the silver. But see how I just kind of placed it in between here? You can see the gold obviously showing through, again, why you want the silver, but that creates its own little base. Now what you would do is, I mean, this is just a loose thing, but you take your pliers like this, and you would twist it, and twist it, and twist it, and keep twisting it pretty much until it turned into a very, very sturdy support area, like pretty much a support stem. And if you were really worried about it, or you had a heavier one, I would go ahead and take another wire cut and put it through another set of holes and then twist that stem into this stem for optimal support. But really what you're looking for is something with a bunch of holes that you could use to run your wire through. Also, for the girls watching this who do their nails as often as I do, or probably more often than I do now, don't do your nails and do this. They'll get destroyed with all the wires and, you know, the hard surfaces of the stones. Just don't even bother. So that's your ideal. These are some other ones we went over. Something like this would work too, especially because you could put it in the bouquet and then hide other, you know, you could layer other things on top of it. Again, it's got holes in it, so it would be great. The back is missing, but there's so many holes in here, you would be more than okay to, you know, secure it on here. And in fact, because the back is broken, you could probably just clip this off if you wanted to. Something like this, make sure you can see, oops, something like this, it's really pretty and it's obviously really sparkly, but the problem is it's see-through. You can see through it. So there's really two things you could do with it. If you wanted to take your bouquet, and I obviously have layers and layers of stuff so that you can see there's some hidden on the bottom, there's some more on the top, some on the bottom, some on the top. This particular pin I would use as I would cut the back piece off of it, this part here, and I would pin it underneath something so just a little bit of it shown through, or pin it on top of something and have something else sparklier and a little bit more solid underneath, but you can see how much is showing through. So it really just depends what kind of look you're going for. Alright, I zoomed out just a little bit so you can maybe see what I'm working with a little bit better. This is another earring I've had, I don't even know how long. It was something I played with when I was little, so it was just one of those clip-on earrings, but I'm sure we got it at like a thrift store or something. This has so many, let me see if I can show you. There's so many different holes in here that you could use. So if you pop this off, you could, theoretically speaking, just find holes that fit the wire, and it would hide in, you know, the wire would just blend in perfectly with this. And this is solid, and it would at least be a fun and, you know, moving piece if you wanted the moving stuff. I have no idea what this is because it doesn't look like an earring. I mean, maybe it is, but I mean, I don't see how it would. I don't know. It doesn't make sense how it would fit on your ear, but it's probably like a shoe clip or something from back in the day, and I just don't know what it is. But anyways, this one would be a little tricky because while it is pretty and it is solid and it would cover a decent amount of space, it's kind of a tight fit, and this is my smaller, thinner gauge wire, and it's having a hard time getting through there. So some of these you might have to be a little clever and maybe wrap it around, or, you know, do something. Now the problem is not everything is going to work, but I normally am the first person to be like, glue gun it. Hot glue it somehow, you know, E6000, but for for something like this thing weighs a ton. It's several pounds. It's heavy. You're walking around with it. It's your wedding day. Do you really want to run the risk of maybe something not gluing perfectly, or if it gets, you know, if it gets bumped too hard? I know that if I drop this, you know, maybe one of the glass crystals might break or something, or, you know, something might get dented. But this sucker is not going anywhere. I could shake it upside down and it might, you know, it's going to move and rattle, but nothing's falling off of this because I way overwired it and just made sure it was super secure. So if you want to go ahead and glue things, go for it. I can't say I recommend it, especially, let me say this, if you know that you're just going to make like a simple and pretty small, just basic bouquet with these, and you're going to use it for the day and be done with it, and you're not going to keep it, sure, you could probably go ahead and be safe using glue. I plan on keeping mine and using it for anniversaries or something. I don't even know, heirloom. So I want to make sure it's super secure. And of course, if I make anybody else's, I'd probably go the same route. So that's, you know, this is something to keep in mind. And again, this is just little old vintage clip-on earrings. I would find some hole or something in here to try to loop through if possible. If not, maybe take advantage of that band where the clip is adhered. Just be flexible when you're looking at things. Don't immediately rule them out if they aren't the most, like this is not the most shiny, sparkly thing ever. No. But things like that could go in the bottom, so that something, if you have something that's a little bit, I don't want to say like open like this, but if you have something that's just a little bit, open, you have something underneath it. So like you can see, especially here, I had some pretty ones on top, but they weren't the most solid, so there's some pins underneath it. So just be flexible. And if I could tell you anything, my tips would be start earlier than you even could. Like, if you even think that you might be doing this, start now. Start collecting pins and earrings and necklaces, whatever you want, because your thrift store it might be great today, and you might go in there and get 10 different pins, but next week there may not be any, or somebody else might be in there, or something like that. So thrift stores are your friend. Tag sales, church, like the big community sales, I'm not sure what they call them, but those types of things are great. Also, if you're comfortable running your luck on eBay, I did get a few on eBay that were like used lots of like old vintage jewelry. Those are kind of hit or miss. Look at the pictures and really think about if it would work for you or not in your bouquet, your style. And just try and have fun with it. It is very time consuming. I think it's worth it, obviously. I mean, this thing's pretty cool. It also doubles as a weapon if you needed it to. But in all seriousness though, if you think about how much time it takes you to find each pin, to wire it, to get it in here, to rearrange it how you like it, and then like I had showed you in the original video, I went ahead and I wrapped the handle nice and thick to, I tried to do it so it matched the shape of my hand, what would be the most comfortable for me long term. I added these in. Obviously you don't have to, it's your bouquet, you do what you want, but these are just wired in giant beads that I got at the craft store that are nice and multicolored, but still generally keep with the crystal-y theme. So just keep in mind how long it's going to take you to accumulate all of this, wire it, mold it to your liking. Don't forget you have to probably clean some of these, polish them a little bit. You're going to need your styrofoam ball. You're going to have to, that takes, I don't want to say an hour or two, but it takes a while to shape it, hollow it out. It's not, this is not something for the faint of heart here. You're gonna work exceptionally hard on this, I would say. So, but having said that though, I loved every minute of it. I wish I was getting married again and again and again, because I just had a ball making it and collecting it. It was just something that I just enjoyed the whole experience. So, just if you're not a crafty person by nature, this isn't gonna be the project that turns you into a craft person, probably. If you're already crafty and hands-on and like making, you actually make things, you see things on Pinterest and you actually make them. I'm not saying like you see them and then you make them onto a board on Pinterest. I'm saying you actually make things, then you might be able to do this. But in all seriousness though, if you aren't super crafty and you're like, oh, well, if I can finish it in 30 minutes and launch a show and call it a day and have it be done, this is still not the project for you. As pretty as they are, they're a lot of work. So having said that, I wish you the best of luck with yours. If you have any questions on it, you need any answers or tips, please do not hesitate to contact me. I want to make another one of these, and maybe a different size, different color, something. So if you're getting married soon, or in the next year or so, or 2 years, or I don't care when, send me a private message or get in contact with me, and I will be more than ecstatic to make you one, or help make you one, or get you started on one. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers any questions I've had so far. But like I said, if I missed anything, feel free to ask me, and thanks so much for watching, guys.